Hello, Dark Readers, and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library podcast. I'm your host, Katie, and today on this episode, we are going to be talking about dark, spooky comic books that are coming out in March of 2024. These are just some of my favorites, or some that I'm anticipating. They're not every single comic that's coming out, because there's understandably a lot of comic books that are coming out, or issues, etc. So these are just a few like sets or graphic novels that I find interesting. So we're going to start off today by talking about the Maria Lovett comic collected set. It is published by Ablaze Comics, and this comes out March 26th. So in this collection, we have the Eros and Psyche comics and Porcelain. So in Eros and Psyche, we have La Rosa's female boarding school is a paradise for young girls, but only if you follow the rules, of course, because if you disobey them, you can end up expelled, or even worse, dead. So Sarah and Silji are two students learning the rules of the school, which include classes by day and the casting of curses and spells by night. A love develops between the two, which is tender, but it threatens to break under the weight of the dark secret society within La Rosa. So that's one. Then we have Porcelain, which is Beryl's life is in the desert. Living with her aunt and her cat is relatively simple until the day she finds and enters the dollhouse, stuck inside an ever-changing mystery house that hunts children and turns them into dolls. Oh god, that's horrible. So Beryl goes on a psychedelic journey where she must face the notion of her own limitation and move past them before she becomes the building's newest prey. That's horrible. That sounds spooky. So you get two of those comics, full sets, in the Maria Ablaze Artist Spotlight Collected set. So, of course, this is by Marie Lovett. This comes out March 26th. Next, we have a new horror tale that's published by IDW Publishing. This is Bryn Mawr. This comes out March 26th as well. This is by Steve Niles, who did 30 Days of Night, and Damian Worm is the illustrator. So we have recently divorced and sober Mark Turner has returned to his hometown looking for a second chance. He'll rebuild the old church into a new home if the locals will let him. But Turner Island has a secret, one tracing back to when it was named after Mark's ancestors. Who or what is Bryn Mawr? You can see the creepy cover here. It looks sinister and interesting. Honestly, I would have thought this is like, it almost looks like a Yurkai kind of like creature, but it's a horror mystery graphic novel. This is by Steve Niles and Damian Worm. This is Bryn Mawr. Next on our list, this isn't like spooky, but it's kind of slightly dark fantasy, and it looks really great. It's already got some decent reviews over on Goodreads, and this came out in February, so I wanted to bring this to your attention. This is Kindling. This is 432 pages. I think it's a standalone fantasy. It's about a war-ravaged world where kindling warfare, the use of elite magic-wielding teenagers, has been outlawed. It sounds really cool. It's similar to like Seven Samurai and the Magnificent Seven. Lots of sevens. So, because there's 7 kindlings that we follow. Once the war was fought with kindlings, so we have elite magic-wielding warriors whose devastating power comes at the cost of their own young lives. Aw, that's short. Now the war is over, and kindlings have been cast adrift, their magic is outlawed, their skills outdated, and their formidable Balar weapons prized only as relic and souvenirs. Violence still plagues the countryside, and memories haunt those who remain. When a village comes under threat of siege, it offers an opportunity for 7 of these kindlings to fight one last time. But war changed these warriors, and to reclaim who they once were, they will have to battle their past, their trauma, their grim fates to come together again, or none of them will make it out alive. So this is by Tracy Chee, who's an award-winning author, and this is for grade level 9 through 12, and it's published by HarperCollins. It looks really great. I love the art, as you can kind of see over here. It's really cool, and I really want to check it out. This is Kindling by Tracy Chee. Next, we have, well, Who doesn't like sexy Cthulhu? We have Nightmare World. It's the complete collection, 536 pages. This comes out March 26th. Everything comes out March 26th, apparently. This is by Dirk Manning. Publisher is Source Point Press. So this starts as an anthology of 52 standalone genre-hopping horror stories, but it transforms into one huge horror epic about Lucifer's plan to awaken Cthulhu. So this is cool. It's in a whole box set. You can see over here the art is really fantastic and ethereal and creepy. It's Nightmare World. This is a complete collection. This is by Dirk Manning. Next is one that I'm really, really excited for because it's Junji Ito. This is Stitches. So it looks like even though Junji Ito isn't necessarily the author, he does the illustrations, which is really cool. We have a story about a tumor shaped like a man's face slowly moving across a woman's body. We have another story about the sea shooting glowing balls into the sky, much to the distress of beachgoers, of course. A girl dressed up for a holiday has no eyes, no nose, nothing. Her face is just blank. Kahara actually pens true stories of unsolved mysteries, and stitched together with page after page of Junji Ito's original illustrations, this is a collection of 9 eerie tales, and it's a fantastic manga I'm very much looking forward to. Published by Viz Media. This is Stitches. This is by Hirokatsu Kihara and Junji Ito. Next, who doesn't love a truck with smoky skull smoke? This is called Dark and Twisted Long Haul. This is by Storm King Comics. There is a lot of authors here. We have Heath Amodio, Colin Bunn, big name. Artists, we have Andrea Moody, Gigi Baldacini. Lots of people have contributed. This comes out March 5th. So fact, there are over 700 missing people along America's interstate highways, hunted, taken, and killed by more than 300 active serial killers. Well, that's uncomfortable. Here's a myth. I don't know if this is based on a true story, but here we have Sarah Blake went missing. On her way to work, it was too much for her sickly father to handle. His passing, coupled with Sarah's disappearance, left her older brothers, Danny and Carl, filled with rage and loss. With nothing and no one left to lose, the two men decide to spend whatever time they have left hunting down long-haul serial killers, uncovering the truth about Sarah, and taking the murderers out in brutal fashion. Okay, I'm okay with that. During their mission for revenge, they learn about a convoy of sociopathic killers known only as the Nine. One of them stole Sarah from beside her broken-down car, and the Blake brothers must violently work their way through the Nine and their protectors until they come to the member who actually took her. So it's kind of got like some, I don't know, John Wicky vibes, Taken. I mean, obviously, there's a ton of that. So this is the Dark and Twisted Long Haul. This is 120 pages, published by Storm King. We have 3 more comics on our list. This next one has a very sinister cover. It's Swan Songs. I don't know why that was so hard for me. This comes out March 12th. This is published by Image Comics. It is a artist anthology that explores the way that things end and how things never really do end. The end of the world, the end of a marriage, the end of Eden, the end of a sentence, the end of anhedonia, even the end of the sidewalk. And along for the terminal ride are some of the industry's best, brightest artists. So we have here contributing, we have Martin Simmons, Casper Wingard, Felipe Andrade, Caitlin Yarsky, Alex Ekman-Lawn, and Martin Morazzo. They all contribute to a chapter in their respective and beloved styles in a stunning melange of powerful stories that weave their way through death, love, divorce, crime, therapy, and language. So these are all swan songs. I really love the cover here. It's really intriguing and the whole concept is cool. I love these kind of anthologies. So this is Swan Songs. This comes out March 12th. And we had a bit of a technical difficulty, so the rest of the podcast / video is going to be only audio. So bear with me. We only have 2 more comic books left. The next comic on this list today is Tales of Suspense, Volume 1. This is by Chris Ryall and Ashley Wood and T.P. Louise. It comes out March 26th. I love this cover. You can see it here over on our YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. So it says it's about two titanic tales of terror and turmoil. Up first, courtesy of Lore co-creators. I love Lore, T.P. Louise and Ashley Wood. The mystery of Les Morts 13 plays out on a surreal and mysterious island of Southport and run-in with Eris, the goddess of strife. And then we have, quote, power is wasted on the young. Chris Ryall and Nelson Daniel present Dreamweaver, the story of an aging adventurer with a mythical secret who looks to pass on his abilities to the next generation of hero, and proceeds to screw up both of their lives, as well as that of the people both in the past and the present. Can either generation discover what it truly takes to be a hero? Two of these tales together, Tales of Suspense. This is by Chris Ryall, Ashley Wood, T.P. Louise. This is published by Image Comics. I'm definitely going to pick this one up when I get the opportunity. Then the last comic, this is a mainstream comic. We usually don't cover those on here, but I had to. We have Vampirella Dracula, the Unholy graphic novel. This is by Christopher Priest, and this comes out March 12th. So, Vampirella, classic horror heroine in the comic industry. This is published by Dynamite Comics. Has Vampirella cheated fate? That's the question our interstellar vampire faces as she unites in unholy matrimony with the man who would be Dracula. The adventure of several lifetimes begins as Vampirella and new husband Matt journey to Castle Dracula in Transylvania in an attempt to cheat fate by preventing both a high-tech virus and an ancient curse from using Matt's body to resurrect the deadliest threat the world has ever known. Meanwhile, secrets and mystery grow around Vampy's spouse, who may not be nearly as innocent as he appears to be. So this looks great. The cover is fantastic, of course. Most covers for graphic novels are. The inside looks great too. If you're really into Vampirella and you want to add this to your collection, I highly recommend it. This is Vampirella Dracula, Unholy by Christopher Priest. And that finishes up our comic books that are coming out in March of 2024. Make sure to join us for our other podcast episodes where we talk about other books, so like adult fiction, kids books, YA, nonfiction, etc. And stay tuned for future episodes that are coming out on Wednesday and Fridays. Sometimes I like to do little deep dives on Fridays and share some of the books that I've been reading lately. We'd love for you to come join us on our socials at Dark Side of the Library. We have TikTok now. We are finally growing a little bit. So come join us on all of those platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Amazon Live, and of course, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching today. It means the world. We will see you in the next podcast episode and have a creeptastic rest of your week.